Hey, Rachel, did you see the photo I sent you earlier today?
Hi, Mark. Was it Sarah's test results? Yes, I saw them. Getting a perfect score is amazing for a fourth grader. I'm really impressed. I'm so proud of her.
It's pretty incredible. She even got the bonus question right.
She's always been smart, but these scores are something else.
I wasn't sure about having a tutor at first, but these scores are really encouraging.
I told you Brandon would be worth it. Do you remember how worried you were about the cost?
Well, tutors aren't cheap, especially for medical students.
But look at the results. Every penny spent is worth it when she's doing this really well.
That's true, though I still think the hourly rate is steep for a student tutor.
The tutor was definitely worth hiring. She's been doing so well since Brandon started coming over. At this rate, she'll definitely pass the entrance exams.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The real exams are still months away.
But with scores like these, how can you not be excited?
How many hours is he spending with her each week now?
Usually 3 sessions, about 2 hours each. He's very thorough with the material.
That seems like a lot of time. Wasn't it just 2 sessions when we started? Why is it 3 sessions now?
He suggested adding another session. He said it would help with the exam preparation.
And you agreed without discussing it with me? Of course he'd say that.
I didn't think it would be an issue. You're always saying how education is important.
That's quite a bit of time. Are we sure it's not too much pressure on her? Is she getting enough rest?
It's not too much pressure at all. Brandon knows exactly how to pace the lessons so she won't feel overwhelmed. He's really good at explaining things to her. Why wouldn't I be excited? The results speak for themselves.
Isn't it a bit early to say that? We both know the actual exam is still a long way off. Nothing's guaranteed, Rachel.
I know, but can't a mother be excited about her daughter's progress? This is huge.
Of course you can be. I just don't want us getting ahead of ourselves.
You worry too much. Brandon says she's way ahead of where she needs to be.
Did he tell you that during or after the lesson?
What do you mean?
I'm just curious about when you discuss these things with him.
It's usually after the lessons. We go over her progress and everything they did.
You seem to talk to Brandon quite a bit about these things.
Well, I'm here during the lessons. It would be weird not to talk, right?
I suppose, though most parents just check in briefly at the end.
Are you suggesting I shouldn't be involved in our daughter's education?
That's not what I meant.
Just what?
I get where you're coming from.
Well, aren't you convinced now? Can we keep Brandon as her tutor? Please?
Have you already discussed extending his contract?
Not officially, but he mentioned he'd be happy to continue teaching her.
Was that during another after-lesson chat?
Why do you keep focusing on when we talk? Does it matter?
Just trying to understand the arrangement better, that's all.
There's nothing to understand. He's Sarah's tutor, that's all.
I mean, the results speak for themselves. If it's working, I don't see why not. Just checking, though. Sarah's still okay with it, right?
Oh, she's totally fine with it. She actually enjoys more than studying alone. Just look at her grades.
But is she happy with how he teaches things? That's what I'm asking.
Of course she's happy. Why wouldn't she be?
You know, grades aren't everything. How's she doing otherwise, like her personal time?
What do you mean?
She seems different lately, much quieter.
She's probably tired from all the studying.
Good grades don't always mean she's enjoying it. Haven't you noticed she seems down lately? I thought maybe she wasn't getting along with the tutor.
There's nothing to worry about. If anything, Brandon's a college student, so he's like a big brother to her.
Since when does she need a big brother?
That's not what I meant. He just relates well to kids.
You keep calling him Brandon. Wasn't it Mr. Lee before?
Oh, he asked us to call him Brandon. Says Mr. Lee makes him feel old.
I see. That's a bit casual for a tutor, isn't it?
Times have changed. Not everyone needs to be so formal these days.
Maybe, but there should still be some professional boundaries.
You're being old-fashioned. Brandon's very professional. He's a very good tutor.
Professional people usually keep their titles as Mr. and Ms., not by their first names.
Are you really gonna argue about what we call him?
I suppose not. Still, it's pretty impressive that he manages this while handling med school.
He actually told me today that he's tutoring because his family doesn't have much money. He's working his way through school, and he's doing such a great job with Sarah.
How did that come up in conversation?
Just chatting after the lesson. He's really dedicated to his studies.
You seem to know a lot about his personal life.
He's just open about these things. There's nothing wrong with that.
It makes me feel lazy in comparison. When I was in college, I was definitely more focused on having fun. It's admirable to see young people working so hard. Makes me want to step up my game. I feel like I need to do better.
Plus, he's so handsome. Great build, too. Nothing like you. LOL.
That's an odd thing to notice about our daughter's tutor. That's weird, Rachel.
I have eyes, don't I? Just stating facts.
Since when do you pay attention to tutor's appearances and how his body is built?
It was just an observation. Don't be so sensitive.
Ouch! Didn't have to go there. That actually hurts.
Why are you competing with someone half your age? You're my husband, aren't you? There is no point in comparing yourself to others.
You brought it up, not me. But yeah, you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Don't be so sensitive. I'm just teasing you.
It's a very weird thing to tease about.
You're making this weird, not me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But wait, if studying isn't the issue, why has Sarah been so down lately? School problems, maybe? Has she told you anything?
I haven't noticed anything wrong. You're probably overthinking it. She's been fine with me.
She never really talks during dinner anymore. That's weird of her.
I think she's just focused on her studies. That's good, isn't it? I don't think it's weird. Has she mentioned anything about fighting with friends or anything?
Not really. She's just been quiet lately.
She's just growing up. Girls get moody at this age. A lot of them go through things.
This feels different than that, though.
Different how?
Like she's keeping something to herself. Like she's hiding something. Not that I've heard anything from her. Maybe I should ask her when I get home. She's usually still up around 9, right?
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why not? She's my daughter, too.
She's at that age, you know. Girls don't like their dads hovering too much.
Since when is talking to my daughter hovering? I just want to make sure she's okay.
I know, but trust me on this. She needs her space sometimes.
When did you become such an expert on what Sarah needs?
I'm her mother. I know these things.
You think so?
If I were Sarah, I'd hate it. If you're worried, I can ask her about it. Just leave it to me.
You've been saying that a lot lately. Leave it to me. I want to be able to understand her better.
Because you're making problems where there aren't any. Everything's fine.
If everything's fine, why can't I talk to her?
Why are you being so insistent about this?
Because she's my daughter and I'm worried about her.
You don't need to be. I've got everything under control.
Well, if you say so. Thanks for handling it, even though it's extra work for you.
It's not work at all. Brandon makes everything easier.
There you go, mentioning Brandon again. What's going on?
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, it's just an observation.
You're being weird today. Is work stressing you out?
Maybe. I'm sorry if I'm overthinking things.
No problem. Now get back to work.
Will do. Is Sarah home from school yet?
Yes, she's studying in her room.
Right. Tell Sarah I'll try to be home for dinner.
Actually, we might eat early today. Brandon's coming for an early session.
Again? Wasn't he just there yesterday?
Sarah needs all the help she can get, right?
That's 3 days in a row now. She needs to rest too, you know.
He had some free time in his schedule.
How convenient.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just seems like there's been a lot of sessions. I guess, but make sure she's getting enough rest too. It's important at her age.
Stop worrying. Everything's under control.
If you say so. I'll message later. Bye. Hey, Sarah, can you tell Rachel to check her phone?
Dad, what's up? Do you need to talk to Mom?
I've been trying to reach her for the past hour. Is everything okay at home? Sarah, where are you right now? Are you home?
I'm at the park.
Why are you there? Sarah, you can tell me what's going on.
I don't want to get in trouble.
You won't get in trouble, sweetie, I promise.
Really? Promise?
Really promise. Daddy just wants to make sure that you're okay. And I'm going to be late tonight because of work. I tried messaging her, but she's not responding. Aren't you with her? You're not? Where's Mom?
Mom's at home studying with Brandon.
Studying? That's odd. Your session wasn't scheduled for today, I thought.
Brandon comes over a lot now.
What do you mean by a lot? She told me you guys increased your sessions.
He comes over almost every day.
What? Every day? Since when?
Since last month, I think.
And where are you during these sessions?
Usually here, at the park.
Why do you go to the park? Hey, can you tell Mom to call me right away?
I can't. I'm not allowed inside. I have to study at the park until Mom comes to get me.
What do you mean you're not allowed inside? Of the house?
Mom says I need to study somewhere quiet.
Wait, what? Mom told you to stay out? It's getting late.
She says I concentrate better here.
How long have you been at the park today?
Since after school.
That was hours ago. Have you eaten anything?
Yeah, I have some snacks in my backpack.
How long has this been happening?
Since I saw them.
You saw them? What exactly did you see, Sarah?
I don't want to say. Mom will be mad at me.
Sarah, honey, you can tell me anything. I won't let Mom be mad at you, I promise.
Promise you won't be mad at me either?
I promise I won't be mad at you. Never at you.
They were hugging, but not like you and Mom hug.
What do you mean? Can you explain a little bit more?
Like in the movies, when people kiss.
I see. Thank you for telling me that. You're very brave.
Are you mad?
Not at you, sweetheart. Never at you. I'm not mad.
Your messages look angry, though.
I'm just worried about you. Are you cold? Are you okay?
Just a little.
I understand. I'm coming to get you right now. You're at the park near the house, right?
Yeah, but are you sure? What about work? Aren't you busy?
Some things are more important than work, like you. Are you warm enough?
Yeah, I have my jacket. But Dad?
Yes?
Mom said not to tell you about the park.
And did she say why?
She said that you would understand.
You did the right thing telling me. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
There is, actually. I miss how things used to be.
What do you mean by that, sweetie?
When we all had dinner together.
Work's done for today. Don't worry about that. Would you rather have me not come get you?
No, I want you to. I'm always alone until Mom comes. I'd be really happy if you picked me up.
How often does Mom leave you at the park?
Whenever Brandon comes over.
And that's almost every day now?
Yes, sometimes twice a day.
I'm glad to hear that. Hey, want to stay at Grandma and Grandpa's tonight?
Really? Can we? But I don't have any clothes or anything. And what about Mom?
We can buy you clothes on the way to their house. And don't worry about Mom, I'll handle it. This'll be our little secret, okay?
Will Mom be angry? I don't want her to be mad at me.
Let me worry about that. You've been so strong.
I tried studying hard, even at the park.
I know you did. You're amazing. You really are.
Even without a tutor?
Especially without a tutor. You're brilliant all on your own.
Brandon says I need him to pass the exams.
That's not true at all. You're incredibly smart.
Okay, I'll wait for you at the park then.
I'm about 15 minutes away. Stay where I can see you when I pull up.
I will. I'm on the bench near the swings.
Perfect. I'll be there soon.
Hey, Dad, are you close?
I'm just a few minutes away. Can you see the street from where you are?
Yes, I'm watching for your car.
Good girl. Stay safe. Almost there. Hey, Rachel. Sarah's not with you, is she?
What? Aren't you at work?
Don't play games. Where's our daughter?
What are you talking about? She's studying in her room, obviously. What time do you think it is?
Are you still lying? Even now? How can you do that?
Mark, you're scaring me. What's going on?
Funny, you weren't scared when our daughter was alone in the park.
I'm not lying. She's in her room studying.
Oh, really? Then I guess the person right next to me right now isn't Sarah?
What do you mean she's right next to you?
I found her at the park, alone, again.
How did you?
She called me, crying. She was so cold.
She wasn't supposed to.
She wasn't supposed to do what? Tell me she's been abandoned?
Mark, look, I can explain.
That's my line. Why are you lying about this?
I'm not.
You just what? Just leaving our daughter alone while you're with Brandon?
I just needed some private time. That's it.
Private time with Brandon?
How dare you suggest?
How dare I? How dare you?
No, you don't understand.
I found her alone in the park, Rachel. Alone! She was so cold! Sarah called me, so I picked her up. We're at my parents' house now. We're spending the night here tonight.
Ah, thank goodness. I went to get her from the park, but she wasn't there. I was worried.
Worried? Now you're worried? After leaving her alone for hours? You told her to go to the park and wait there.
It wasn't hours.
She called me around 6. Why was our daughter alone in the park at that time? Sarah told me you made her leave the house while the tutor was still there.
She wasn't alone the whole time.
Don't. Just don't. I don't want to hear anything.
I just needed to discuss something important with Brandon. It was just temporary.
Important enough to abandon our daughter in the cold?
I didn't abandon her. She was fine.
Fine? Fine? She was terrified!
She knows the park well.
That's your excuse? If it was just talking, why did she need to leave?
It wasn't something a child should hear.
What kind of conversation do you need to have with a tutor that a child can't hear? And Sarah said this happens every time he comes over. Are you having these important conversations that often?
You don't understand.
Then help me understand. Why does our daughter have to study in the park? Your silence says everything. That's all I needed.
It's not what you think. Don't make it sound like I did something wrong.
Sending our 4th grade daughter to study alone in a park isn't wrong? You can't possibly think that.
She's mature for her age. She can handle it.
Handle what? Your affair? Is that it?
That's not.
But you did more than that, didn't you? That's why you've been sending Sarah away.
Yes, sending her out that late was wrong. But don't just make assumptions. Nothing inappropriate is happening with me and Brandon.
Nothing inappropriate? Is that why Sarah saw you embracing?
What? She told you about that.
Did you think she wouldn't tell me?
That wasn't what it looked like.
So it's true then?
That was just... He was helping me when I stumbled. Sarah just misunderstood what she saw. She's still so young, she doesn't know anything.
A stumble! That's the best you can come up with?
Yes, I almost fell and...
Then why start sending her outside to the park in the cold?
Listen, believe what you want. But why won't you believe me?
Because I believe in our daughter. Whatever she tells me, I believe it. I know she won't lie about something like this.
She's just a child. She doesn't understand.
She understands enough to know something's wrong. Because there's no reason to. Suddenly calling him by his first name, always defending him. It's because you're having an affair, isn't it? And you're choosing him over our daughter. What's wrong with you?
You're jumping to conclusions.
Am I? Then explain why our daughter has been miserable. She was terrified.
She hasn't been miserable. She's been doing well at school.
At what cost?
Wait, you're not talking about divorce, are you? We have Sarah to think about. That can't happen.
Now you're thinking about Sarah after everything?
We can work this out. We can find a new tutor. I'll end things with Brandon.
Unbelievable. Even now you're only thinking about yourself. How dare you? Of course we're getting divorced.
If that's how it has to be, at least promise you won't do anything to hurt Brandon. If you promise that, I'll agree to the divorce.
You're actually trying to protect him after what you both did?
He has a whole future ahead of him.
And Sarah doesn't? So you're finally admitting to the affair.
Well, you clearly believe Sarah. And I know you won't doubt her, so yes. But please, don't hurt Brandon. I'll take full responsibility.
Let me get this straight. You admit to having an affair, but your biggest concern is protecting him? Not even your daughter? After you left her outside in the cold for such a long time?
You don't understand what's at stake.
Oh, I understand perfectly. You chose him over our family, your own daughter. Who do you think you are? Both of you are at fault here.
Please, just listen to me for a minute.
After all your lies, why should I?
Because you're not thinking clearly.
I've done enough listening to your lies.
I know I messed up. I know that.
Do you? Do you really?
Yes, I know what I did was wrong.
Messed up? You destroyed our family!
That's not fair. We can still be a family.
How? How can we ever go back?
I know I hurt you, but
Hurt me? What about Sarah? Don't you think she was hurt?
I know that. But Brandon's a struggling student. He has student loans. I don't want to cause him trouble.
Of course, your first thought is still about him.
He doesn't deserve to have his life ruined.
So you admit to the affair but want to protect him?
He has his whole future ahead of him.
What about Sarah's future? Did either of you think about that?
Sarah will be fine. She's strong.
She shouldn't have to be strong. She's 10 years old.
You don't understand the pressure he's under.
Pressure? He's sleeping with a married woman.
I know I'm being a terrible mother. But I want to support Brandon. He's going to be a doctor. If you want compensation, I'll pay it all. Isn't that enough?
You really think money fixes this?
What else do you want from me?
How about remorse? Real remorse, not just worry about your boyfriend.
He's not just...
Not just what? Not just the man you chose over your daughter?
You're twisting everything.
Am I? Tell me one thing I've said that isn't true.
That's not fair.
Fair? You want to talk about fair?
I made mistakes, but Brandon didn't mean for any of this to happen.
Didn't mean to? He knew exactly what he was doing.
He was just trying to help Sarah.
Help her by traumatizing her?
We never meant for her to see anything.
But she did, and instead of stopping, you sent her away.
It wasn't like that.
Then what was it like? Explain it to me.
I can't.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I never thought you could be this terrible of a person.
Say whatever you want about me. But please, Brandon didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing wrong. He had an affair with a married woman and helped abuse her child.
Abuse? We never...
What do you call sending your daughter to study alone in a park in the cold?
We were just...
Just what? Having your affair while our daughter sat alone?
No, please understand.
Understand what? That you both chose yourselves over her?
It wasn't supposed to happen like this.
How was it supposed to happen?
I don't know. It just...
Are you kidding? You're both at fault here. I'm not only going to demand compensation, I'm also reporting this to the university. You both deserve whatever comes next.
No, please don't. He works so hard. Don't ruin his future.
His future? What about Sarah's future? What about her trust?
I'll do anything. Please, just don't report him. But I said I'd pay it all. Why do you have to hurt Brandon too?
Because he hurt my daughter! What better reason does a parent need? I need to protect my daughter! Unlike you, I care about her!
He never meant to hurt anyone.
But he did.
What if I give you full custody of Sarah?
You think I'd let you have custody after this?
I could still see her sometimes.
After what you've done?
Please, I'm begging you. He's so young. Don't take away his future.
His age makes it worse. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He was just trying to get through school.
By sleeping with his student's mother, that's his excuse?
You don't understand how hard it's been for him.
For him? What about how hard it's been for Sarah?
I'll make it up to her. I promise.
How? By choosing him over her again?
That's not what I'm doing.
Really? Because that's all you've done since he started tutoring.
I made mistakes, but...
But what? You're still defending him.
He doesn't deserve to lose everything.
Neither did our family.
Please reconsider.
If you really cared about his future, you shouldn't have had an affair. You both destroyed your own futures. Now deal with the consequences. Have fun supporting him through all this.
What do you mean?
Think about it. No medical school, no career, just debt.
You can't do this.
I'm not doing anything. You did this. Both of you.
At least let me talk to Sarah.
Absolutely not. You lost that right.
She's still my daughter.
A daughter you abandoned for your affair.
I never abandoned her.
The park bench says otherwise.
I can change. I can be better.
Too little, too late.
What am I supposed to do now?
That's not my problem anymore.
Can I at least say goodbye?
Do you really think that's best for her?
I'm still her mother.
A mother who chose her daughter's tutor over her.
Will you ever forgive me?
That's not up to me anymore. It's up to Sarah.
Please. Just don't tell Brandon's university.
Every single time you defend him first.
Because I know what this will do to him.
But you didn't know what you were doing to Sarah?
That's different.
You're right, it is different. He's an adult who made his choices. Sarah was a child who trusted you.
I'll do anything. Please.
It's done. I've already contacted the university.
You did what?
They're very interested in the ethics of their medical students.
How could you do that? How dare you?
How could I? How could you?
You ruined everything.
No, you did that to yourself. Both of you. I'm just making sure there are consequences.
What happens now?
Now? Now you'll live with what you've done and stay away from Sarah.
You can't keep her from me forever.
Watch me.
Mike, it's an emergency. I haven't heard from Sarah in 6 hours. Is she okay? What's going on? Please respond immediately. This isn't like her at all. Mike! I'm getting really worried. Should I call the police?
I just tried calling the house phone 3 times. No answer.
Why isn't she picking up the phone? What if something happened while she was cooking?
Linda, please calm down. Sarah's fine.
How can you be so sure? Have you heard from her? Why hasn't she responded to my messages? I texted her first thing this morning, and it's already noon with no reply. I even left her 3 voicemails. She always listens to her voicemails right away.
She might not have checked her phone yet.
That's impossible. She always replies to my messages right away. She never ignores me like this. Something must be wrong. I sent her 3 links to articles about home organization this morning. She usually responds with hearts. One of the articles was about preventing household accidents. Maybe she should have read that one first.
She's busy with housework and has PTA duties for Tyler's school.
She could be trapped under something heavy. Or passed out in the bathroom. Or she could have fell. Why aren't you more concerned? How can a stay-at-home mom be too busy to send one text? Housework and PTA stuff barely take any time. When I was raising Sarah, I managed everything perfectly and still had time to respond to everyone. I can't believe she hasn't responded to me this long. I even sent her a recipe for tonight's dinner. She always tells me what she's cooking or shares recipes. This silence isn't normal.
Sometimes people get caught up in things. Maybe she's taking a nap.
A nap? At this hour? Again, that's not like her at all. Is she sick? Maybe she caught something.
Actually, she might not be home right now.
Is that why you're being so vague? You're hiding something, aren't you? Did you two have a fight? Is that why she's not responding?
Why do you say that?
Because it's not like her to be not responding to me, and you are not even concerned. Where is she? You hesitated before answering. That means you know something. Is she avoiding me on purpose? Did you say something to her about me? You've never liked how close we are.
She has several errands to run today, and she's supposed to go shopping this afternoon.
Shopping? In this weather? It might rain later. But we don't know if she's safe. What if she collapsed at home? I saw on the news yesterday about a woman who fainted while doing laundry. Why aren't you more concerned? Seriously, I'm worried sick right now. A loving husband would check on his wife. You need to be worried. You should go home right now, see if she is home, and make sure she is not passed out or something.
She just texted me back, so that's not possible.
Oh, so she ignores her mother but responds to you? She's been so cold to me lately. What did she say? Is she okay? Why is she responding to you and not me? Did she mention me? Is she mad at me? What did I do wrong? I don't know what I did to make her upset with me.
Linda, you're jumping to conclusions. Sometimes people miss messages or forget to reply later.
But I have been calling and texting. I'm just someone who can be dealt with later. A mother's messages should be priority. I carried her for 9 months, and this is how she treats me? I was in labor for 18 hours with her. Does she even remember everything I've done for her? All the nights I stayed up when she was sick?
She might have been busy right then. Please don't overthink it and wait a bit longer. If anything was wrong, I'd know about it.
It'll be too late if something's already happened. I'm getting really worried. I'm going to stop by the house. I still have my emergency key. I should use it. She might need help, and maybe she is too proud to ask. I don't know. Like that time in high school when she had the flu. She wouldn't tell anyone, but I knew. A mother always knows. Something isn't right here.
I'll tell her to message you. Please, just wait for her response.
Fine, but I'm only waiting 30 minutes. If I don't hear anything by then, I'm going over to the house and using the key. And I mean exactly 30 minutes. I'm setting my timer now. You better not be lying to me about her being okay. This reminds me of when she was 5 and got lost at the mall. I found her in the toy store. She needed her mother then, too.
Understood. If I don't hear from her either, I'll contact you again.
Okay, just hurry up and contact her. If anything's happened to my daughter, I'll never forgive you. 25 minutes left, still no message. I'm pacing the house. I can't even eat lunch, I'm so worried. 20 minutes. Mike, this is torture. What kind of daughter ignores her mother like this? You should be more concerned about your wife's well-being. A good husband would have checked on her by now. 15 minutes left. I'm getting my keys ready. And my first aid kit. Just in case.
Linda, I apologize for the delayed response. I'm at work.
You can still reply to a text at work. Are you treating your mother-in-law as an afterthought? I know your company policy allows personal phones. Sarah told me that last month. Your company handbook is online. I checked it myself.
That's not my intention, but there are times when I really can't respond.
Then put me on your priority contact list. I should be able to reach you any time. What if there's an emergency with Sarah? I had to call your office twice before you responded. Your secretary said you were in a meeting. What meeting is more important than family? You could have stepped out. Other people take calls during meetings.
I was presenting to clients.
It's not like you're doing such important work. If you were a doctor in surgery, I'd understand not having your phone. But you're just an office worker, aren't you? Sarah told me you just make PowerPoints all day. That's hardly emergency room work. You could have excused yourself. I'm sure your clients would understand. Family comes first. Always.
Even office workers have times they can't check their phones. Please stop calling my workplace. You've already called twice this month.
Twice isn't much. What about the other times I needed to reach you? Well, I couldn't reach my daughter for days, and you take forever to respond. Your receptionist was very rude to me, by the way. She said I wasn't on the approved caller list. Why am I not on the approved caller list? I'm family. Did you tell them not to put me through? Is that why they always say you're busy?
Like I said, sometimes that happens, but Sarah always responds eventually, so wait for her.
Yes, but way too late. Do you know how long it's been since I've seen her? 2 months. She used to visit me 3 times a week. We had lunch every Wednesday, and Sunday dinners, and shopping on Saturdays. Now I'm lucky if I get a text once a day. She doesn't even send me photos anymore. I used to get pictures of Tyler every day.
I told you she started a part-time job.
That's another weird thing. Why would she start working now? You should be making enough money so she can stay home. What's going on? Unless there's something you're not telling me about your finances. Are you in debt? Is something going on? Is that why you're working so much? Why didn't you come to me for help? I have savings. I can help a little.
Tyler's starting middle school next year, and Sarah wanted to work since the school can be very expensive.
Middle schoolers still need attention. That's when kids start acting out. Starting a job now is crazy. I read an article about how working mothers damage their children. Should I send the article to you so you can read it? Or better yet, I'll forward it to Sarah. I have 5 more articles about it, all from reputable sources. Did you know working mothers spend 40% less time with their children?
She's not gone all day, and Tyler's a good kid.
All kids need their mother at home. I never worked when Sarah was growing up. That's why she turned out so well. Or at least she used to be before she married you. She used to be so considerate, so attentive. Now she's changed completely. Oh, I think I'm getting sick from all this.
What? Why?
I'm so worried about my daughter, I can barely stand it. We used to have mother-daughter tea every week at your house. Now she's suddenly acting so cold, I don't even know why I raised her anymore. My blood pressure is rising. I might need to go to the hospital. Will you tell Sarah that I was thinking about her if I collapse? The doctor said stress isn't good for me. Sarah knows about my condition. She used to care about my health. Now she doesn't even ask anymore.
Linda, listen. Sarah has her own life. You need to give her some space sometimes.
So what? That doesn't mean she can't do what she used to do. She must hate me now. We used to be inseparable. We were best friends. Is this because I mentioned her weight last month? I was just being concerned. A mother has to look out for her daughter's health. Did you know I helped her with homework every single day in school? She would never have gotten into university without me. I checked every assignment, helped her study for every test. Even in high school. She needed me then. She still needs me now. She will always be my baby.
Sarah's still new to her job. She's adjusting. Could you please give her some time?
She could still text or call. That doesn't even take a minute. I have 2 months worth of things to tell her. Catching up with her was my routine. And this situation is just wrong. I have so many important things to discuss with her. The neighbor's daughter just got divorced. And my friend Susan's grandson is having problems at school. Sarah always helps me process these things. Who else can I talk to about this? My friends aren't as patient. Sarah always knows what to say to me, and I just miss talking with her.
I'm sorry, but I think you're being a bit overbearing with Sarah. She needs her space.
Excuse me? Me? How am I being overbearing? Nothing like this has ever happened before. I'm just worried. We've always been close, sharing everything. She's never said I was bothering her. I'm her mother. Mothers and daughters are supposed to be best friends. What would you know about that? Why would you say that? You can't understand our bond.
Well...
There you go again, acting like you know everything. Is this your doing? You've always been jealous of our relationship. Ever since you started dating her. Remember when you complained about our daily phone calls? How could a daughter talking to her mother bother you? What kind of man gets jealous of his mother-in-law?
What do you mean?
My daughter changed after marrying you. She used to tell me everything. She called me every day. Every little detail of her day. I knew so much about her, even if we were away from each other. Now she keeps secrets, and she barely talks to me. She doesn't even tell me when you fight anymore. You must be telling her not to share with me. Controlling what she can say to her own mother.
Linda, we've been married for over 10 years. Do you get that? She is not a baby anymore.
10 years of slowly pulling her away from me. You did that. You must have been slowly brainwashing her. Even Tyler ignored me completely when I texted him recently. That sweet boy would never do that unless you influenced him. He used to love his grandmother's messages. Remember when he was little and would video call me every day? What did you say to him about me? Did you tell him not to talk to me? Did you tell him he shouldn't talk to me? Are you poisoning my own grandson against me?
That's pretty normal for kids his age. He does the same with Sarah and me, reading messages without responding. That's just what they do. We're not cool enough for them anymore, and the kids just prefer hanging out with friends instead of family.
You know, I get headaches every day because I can't see my daughter. I keep wondering if she's okay and why she's become so cold. The thought that I might never see her again makes my heart feel like it's being torn apart. I can barely sleep anymore. It's so rough. I cry myself to sleep most nights. I miss her so much. I had to start taking anxiety medication just so I can fall asleep. The doctor says it's all from stress. The stress of being abandoned by my only child. My perfect daughter.
Linda, we're still planning to visit for New Year's like always.
That's still a month away. Do you expect me to wait that long? What kind of son-in-law are you? A good son-in-law would bring his wife to see her mother, especially when she's suffering like this. I might not even be alive in a month. Why are you guys doing this to me?
Sarah's doing fine, and she's healthy. I need to get back to work now.
Playing the busy card when you barely do anything important. Are you saying work matters more than your wife's mother? You sit at a desk all day, while I suffer alone at home, looking at old photos of my daughter, wondering where I went wrong. Sarah would never have allowed this before.
Work is necessary to support our family.
If you made enough money, maybe Sarah wouldn't have needed to get a part-time job.
How dare you blame me for Sarah working?
I gave her everything growing up. Every penny I had went to her education. I worked 3 jobs to put her through college. I went without so she could have everything. This conversation isn't over. I should never have approved this marriage. I knew you weren't good enough for her. A real man would make enough money. Sarah could have married a doctor. Or a lawyer. Instead, she married you.
Tyler, you're home early. Mom and I just left Grandma and Grandpa's house. Where are you? We were expecting you to stay for dinner. Your mom is worried. Can you answer the texts, please? Are you safe? Please respond when you get this. At the shrine with Marcus and the guys. Grandma just kept talking about herself and complaining. It was exhausting. She's seriously losing it. She wouldn't stop talking about how no one loves her anymore. And kept showing me old photos of Mom. It's so annoying sometimes. Said I should convince Mom to visit more. She showed me Mom's old report cards, too, and kept saying how she helped Mom with everything. It was so uncomfortable. I don't know if she's okay. I know it's tough, but what you did wasn't okay. What do you mean? Did I do something wrong? Is this about leaving early? I know I should have told someone where I was going. I just couldn't take it anymore. Grandma was too much for me. I don't think she's right. I found your New Year's money in the trash. I picked it up. Your grandparents gave you separate envelopes. Money is money. You shouldn't throw it away. It's fine. I threw it away on purpose. I had a good reason. You'll understand when I tell you. Grandma was being weird about it. Really weird. What do you mean? Dad, did you look inside the envelope? Both of them? Specifically Grandma's? She made me promise not to open it until I got home. Said it was our little secret. No, I didn't. Well, check it out. Grandma's envelope didn't have money. It had divorce papers inside, with yours and Mom's names already filled out. She must have gotten them online or something. She already filled out all the personal information, even put in your workplace details. She got your company address right and everything. How does she even know all that? What? Divorce papers? Are you absolutely sure that's what it was? When did she give this to you? Was your mom there when she gave it to you? Yeah, I checked in the bathroom to see how much money was inside. Grandpa's envelope had money, but Grandma's had divorce papers. She texted me saying I should stay with Mom after you guys divorce, said we could all live at their house. She said Mom would be happier without you, that you're holding Mom back. She's been sending me articles about toxic marriages and about kids who saved their moms from bad situations. She wants me to show them to Mom. She's been doing this for weeks, so yeah, she is too much. I didn't want to hear her anymore, and I couldn't take it. That old. I mean, she's been sending me messages about divorce, too. I've been ignoring them, but I didn't think she'd go this far. How long has she been messaging you about this? Why didn't you tell us sooner? A few weeks, I guess. She says Mom seems trapped. Says you're controlling Mom, but I know that's not true. Mom seems happier now than before. And you've been dealing with this alone? I'm sorry you had to handle this. You should have told me sooner. I am sorry I didn't notice that. Dad, you just called her that old. I thought we weren't supposed to use bad words about Grandma. But honestly, I get it now. She's not the person I thought she was. I don't know what happened to her. She keeps saying how much she loves us and misses us. But this isn't love, is it? It feels weird to me. Sorry, son. You must be feeling terrible about all this. You shouldn't have had to deal with this. We should have noticed something was wrong. Yeah, but it's Grandma's fault. I don't want you and Mom to get divorced because of her. Mom seems happier lately anyway, ever since she started working. But Grandma keeps saying she's miserable. Grandma's wrong about everything. She doesn't even see how happy Mom is now. Don't worry, I'll talk to Mom about this. Don't stay out too late, okay? Got it. Hey, Dad, should I block Grandma's number? She keeps sending me long messages about how families should stick together and how kids need their grandmothers. Yes, I think that would be best for now. Don't worry about anything else. I'll take care of it, okay? Already done. Thanks, Dad. Tell Mom I love her.
Mike, what's going on? I can't reach Sarah. Her line account is gone and her phone's disconnected. Is there something wrong with the phone lines? I tried calling your house phone too. None of my messages are going through. I've tried 6 different times. From different numbers.
Linda, please stop trying to contact Sarah.
What? What do you mean stop? Why can't I do that? Has something happened to her? Is she in the hospital? What is going on? Tell me! Why wouldn't you tell me if she was?
Sarah canceled her phone contract.
She's planning to live without a phone in this day and age? That's ridiculous. How will I reach her in emergencies? What if I need her? What if something urgent happens? What if she needs me? How are we supposed to keep in touch?
No, she got a new number. She's okay.
Well, give me the new number so I can add it to my contacts. I'll call her right away. She must be worried about me. She always worries when we don't talk. Just like I worry about her.
No, Sarah won't be communicating with you anymore.
What do you mean? I'm her mother. You can't do this. This is kidnapping. I'll call the police. You can't keep a mother from her child.
Your presence is causing Sarah stress. You've been pushing her too much and she needs space from you.
Me? Stressful? When have I ever caused her trouble? I've never been a burden to her. I'm the least demanding mother I know. Ask anyone. Sarah loves our talks. I know she misses me too. We tell each other everything. She needs me. You can't do this to her. You took her phone away.
This situation right now is troublesome. You're only contacting her because she cut off communication.
Sarah has always been a good listener. She's the only one I can really talk to. No one understands me like she does. She's my best friend. We've never gone this long without talking. Not since she learned to speak. You've turned her against me.
She's been overwhelmed by your constant one-sided communications. You need to let her live. She feels like she can't breathe with you constantly contacting her.
That's not true. She always listened to what I had to say. She never complained. Never! She always smiled when I visited, and she always loved spending time with me. She let me help organize her kitchen and pantry. She asked for my recipes, and she would ask about tips on gardening. We had our special morning calls.
She might not have shown it, but your behavior was exhausting for her. Coming to our house weekly to complain for hours, calling like a demon if she took too long to respond. It was all stressful for her. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I was just worried about her. I just didn't want anything bad to happen to her. A mother's supposed to worry. What kind of mother would I be if I didn't care? I was just trying to make sure she is safe and not in danger. You make it sound like I'm some kind of monster. This is all you're doing. I just want to be involved in her life. Why? You took my grandson too. Why can't I talk with them? I miss them so much.
Even excessive worry can be a burden. Plus, you are always comparing her to other people's daughters. So-and-so's daughter did this for her mother, bought that for her mother. You never do anything. I'm lucky you haven't completely abandoned me. Sarah told me how much she hated those comments.
I wasn't being serious. I was just making conversation. She's too sensitive. I raised her to be stronger than this. When did she become so weak? This is your influence. You've made her soft.
It depends on how the recipient takes it. I've tried to be a shield for Sarah these past few months, but your behavior is abnormal. And putting divorce papers in Tyler's New Year's money envelope? What were you thinking? Both Sarah and I were appalled.
That was just a little joke. I didn't mean anything. Can't a mother joke with her family? Don't take it so serious. Tyler wasn't supposed to show you that. He promised he wouldn't. Ugh, why couldn't he keep the secret? He betrayed my trust. He should have known better. Just like you're all betraying me now.
It wasn't taken as a joke. That's why I'm telling you this. Sarah and I discussed it and decided to cut ties with you.
You can't do this. This is not okay. She is my baby, and we are family. I am her mother. I'll come to your house. I still have the key. Don't go anywhere now. I'll call the police. I will tell them you took their phones away so they can't contact anybody. I'll tell everyone what you've done. You are isolating them. You can't keep my daughter away from me. I'll tell the whole family. They'll see what kind of person you really are. You are so evil. Give my daughter back.
Yeah, don't waste your time coming to see us. You're not welcome, and we've already moved. Don't try to contact us anymore.
Moved? Without telling me? What? Where? Where did you take them? Is this to keep them away from me? This is kidnapping. I won't forgive you. How dare you? They are in danger. What have you done to them? This is not acceptable. I am calling the police now. You are not getting away from this. My own daughter. My own grandson.
After that, Linda still tried to visit our house, but we had already moved. She couldn't reach me at work either since I'd blocked her number. I explained everything to Tom over the phone and he sincerely apologized. He said he'd handle Linda, which was somewhat reassuring. Later, I heard that Tom and Linda had a huge fight after he confronted her about everything. She quickly became docile when he brought up divorce. Now I hear she's quietly staying at home. They say she cries every day and has aged considerably, but I feel no sympathy. Apparently, tears contain stress hormones, so if she's crying alone and releasing stress, that's fine by me. She seems to deeply regret everything, but it doesn't change how much she hurts Sarah. I just hope she continues to leave us alone. Sarah is gradually getting better, and her bright smile is returning. She was hesitant about cutting ties at first, but now she says it was the right decision. Every parent-child relationship is different, and there's no single right way to handle them. But being family doesn't give you the right to do whatever you want. While I'm not entirely confident about my own parenting of Sarah and Tyler, I hope we can maintain a relationship where everyone shows consideration for each other and feels safe being together.
Where are you? Why aren't you home?
Getting groceries now. Why? Do you need anything?
No, just curious where you've been. Did you see Jennifer's announcement on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, I saw. The baby is beautiful, and I'm happy for her and Tom.
Isn't she glowing in all the photos? They look so happy. I'm happy for them.
She does look very happy. I'm sure she is going to be a wonderful mother.
Her mother tells me she's already adjusting so well to motherhood.
That's wonderful to hear. I'll get her a card or something while I'm out.
So, you know what that made me think? Seeing her newborn? When are you guys going to make me a grandmother? What is the deal with you guys? Why aren't you pregnant yet? She got married after you and James, and look how blessed they are already. She is 2 years younger, too.
Yeah, that is good for them.
Don't you think it's about time you guys start planning?
Everyone's journey is different.
When are you planning to give me grandchildren? Jennifer managed it in her first year of marriage. Why can't you?
Well, we would love to have a baby, but these things take time.
Jennifer didn't need time. It didn't take them much.
Every couple is different, Karen. Please don't push me on this.
Well, every couple is different. Don't you think it's been enough time for you two? Maybe you should talk to Jennifer. Maybe she can give you some advice.
I don't think that would help.
It's been 2 years since you got married. Is there anything wrong with you? There must be something. I don't understand why you can't just get pregnant. Have you seen a doctor yet?
We did. James and I both got tested. Everything's normal. They also don't know why we haven't conceived yet.
Normal doesn't mean good enough. Have you seen a specialist? Not just a doctor, but a specialist. My friend Helen's daughter went to 3 different doctors before finding out what was wrong.
We've been to 2 different fertility specialists already.
And what did they say?
Like I said, we were told everything's good and normal. They suggested we keep trying naturally for now.
That's not good enough. You need to be more proactive about this. You can't just wait around. It's been too long and you are not getting any younger.
We're following medical advice. Stress can affect fertility too, so please stop comparing me with everyone.
Are you saying I'm stressing you out? I just want grandchildren.
I understand that, but pressuring us or comparing us to other couples doesn't help.
Pressure? You don't know what pressure is. I had James at 22.
Times were different back then.
Well, it may be, but it's not like you have a job. You just lay around the house all day. You are pretty lazy, and I don't know why James had to marry such a woman. I wish I could trade you for literally any other daughter-in-law.
You can't trade your family.
Obviously, I'm just saying how fed up I am with you.
Please calm down. Like I said, we've been tested and everything's fine. Children are a blessing. We just have to be patient. We are hopeful.
My friend's daughter works full-time and manages to have children. You don't have a job nor kids.
I told you this long ago. I have a job and I still work. And that's wonderful for her to manage everything, but it's not a competition. Honestly, I wish you'd stop comparing me to everyone else.
I'll stop comparing when you give me something to be proud of.
Having children isn't something we can control. We're okay with where we are right now.
Are you even trying? Maybe you're doing something wrong.
We're following all the doctor's recommendations.
Maybe you should see the doctor Helen's daughter saw. He seems to know what he's doing.
No, we trust our current medical team.
Well, it's clearly not working. Maybe if you weren't so lazy about everything else, you'd be more successful at this too.
That's not how fertility works.
I got pregnant with James right away. Maybe it runs in the family, and you're the problem.
Like I said, the doctors already confirmed both James and I are healthy.
Doctors can be wrong. I just want what's best for my son. He deserves to be a father, and I deserve to be a grandmother. I have waited too long for it.
James and I both want children. It will happen when it happens. You just need to be patient.
It's been 2 years, though. How much longer do you expect me to wait?
However long it takes. We can't force this. It's out of our hands.
Well, Jennifer didn't need to wait at all.
Please stop mentioning Jennifer. Everybody is different, and I am not her.
Maybe if you spent less time on your phone and more time trying to conceive.
Using my phone has nothing to do with fertility, and I use my phone for work.
Oh, whatever. That is not a job. No one makes good money like that. Ugh, everything about you frustrates me. This is not what I signed up for. You're not the daughter-in-law I wanted for my James.
The business world has changed a lot. I can still work and make a living just using my phone. If you don't believe me, I manage my entire business through my phone and laptop.
I don't buy that. A real business needs an office building.
Not anymore. Most things are digital now. It's 2024.
What do you do anyway?
I've tried explaining it before, but you never listen. You never care to know what I actually do.
I just think you are playing games or on your social media. I bet you call that work.
No, like I said, I run my business. Just so you know, many successful companies are completely remote now.
In my day, we had to commute to work like normal people. So I have a hard time believing you are working from your phone. All I see is you staying home all day.
You can absolutely work from a phone these days. I run a legitimate business. I have employees and everything.
Virtual employees aren't real employees.
They are just as real as office workers.
Ha! Even if you are working, it's probably just some pocket money gig. That's not real work. When I say work, I mean a real job, with a real company paying you a real salary.
Yeah, but my business generates real income, more than some people.
If you make so much money, why don't you have an office?
Because I don't need to. Most businesses are moving away from offices now.
Why don't you guys have a bigger place then?
Because James wanted to stay close to family.
First of all, a real businesswoman would have her own office space.
As I stated before, many successful companies are fully remote.
Oh, so you live with us because he wants to? Don't blame this on my son. He wouldn't want a wife who sits around all day.
By running the business on my own, I can manage work schedule and still work even if I get pregnant now. I can make sure everything is good while I'm away and to be in control still.
At least that would be honest work.
Running my own business is honest work.
You're not getting pregnant anyway. Instead of lounging around all day, you should be out working.
I already told you I am working. Everything's online now. You just need to understand time is different now.
Tapping on your phone isn't work. If you're so successful, where's your business card?
Everything's digital now. We use websites instead.
What a joke! Then where's all this money you're supposedly making?
I invest it back into the business. That's how companies grow.
Real businesses have paper receipts.
We use digital documentation now too.
I know James is the only one trying here. My poor son, working so hard to support a freeloader who claims she's not a freeloader. You have excuses for everything I point out. It is ridiculous.
I contribute financially to this household. You just don't see that.
By doing what? Playing with your phone all day?
You really don't understand modern business, do you?
I understand real work when I see it.
Just because work is different now doesn't make it fake.
And your attitude, the nerve of you! I feel so sorry for my son having to live with someone like you. And I feel sorry for myself, too. I deserve a better daughter-in-law. You are so hard to live with. You give me so much stress.
You're the one who insisted on living with us. You practically forced the living arrangement. We did not ask you.
Because I thought you'd be different. I thought you'd be a proper wife.
Okay then, what's your definition of a proper wife? Could you please explain what I'm missing?
Someone who works a real job or someone who can give me grandchildren. Either one. I didn't know you'd turn out to be such a worthless wife. I thought you'd both be working, having a baby, and I'd help with childcare sometimes. But nothing's going according to plan.
Nothing is going according to your plan, not ours.
You're ruining everything.
I apologize if I've disappointed you. I am sorry I am not a good enough of a daughter-in-law to you.
Your apologies mean nothing when you keep lying about working. Do something beneficial at least.
I'm not lying. You just refuse to understand what I do. Just because I don't leave the house to go to work doesn't mean I don't. I still make a living, and James and I are both happy. That is what matters.
A proper daughter-in-law would have given me grandchildren by now.
You can't force these things to happen. We would love to have children, but again, we are good with where we are right now. It will happen when it happens.
Seriously, it's like everything about you is wrong. I warned James not to marry you. He should have listened to me.
Why do you hate me so much? Is it because I only have a high school diploma? You think you're better than me? I have done nothing to you. And you think I'm beneath you because my family was poor?
I mean, isn't that the truth? You don't have a degree, you don't have a decent job, and you are still not giving me a grandchild after 2 years. I had James, and I worked a real job to support my family, not pretend phone jobs.
Like I said, my work is just as real as any other job. Just because you don't understand something doesn't make it fake.
You didn't even get a proper education, and that's why you're such a failure. Even if you did get pregnant, I don't know if you could raise a child properly. You need to know how the world is and have common sense to raise a child. I don't think you got what it takes.
You don't get to judge my parenting abilities. I know I'm a good person, and I will be a great mother when I have my own. Just because I don't have a degree doesn't mean I'm not good enough to be a mother. You really shouldn't judge people like that.
I've raised a successful son. What have you done? I doubt you will make a good mother.
How could you possibly know that?
I know because I have more life experience than you. I'm better at spotting losers, and it's obvious you are one. You are too lazy, and I don't think you can do it well. Parenting is hard enough. You can't be lazy.
Well, you sure love calling me lazy, huh? It's 2024, and I can use my phone to work and run my business. I bring income this way and can still take care of household stuff. I know I'm doing okay, and I hope I get to show you that you were wrong someday.
I wish you would prove me wrong right now. All I know is I am not a grandmother.
Either way, the baby will come when it comes. Please be patient.
Patient? While you pretend to work and fail to give me grandchildren?
I already told you your constant criticism doesn't help anyone.
I'm trying to help my son see the truth. I don't understand what he sees in you. He doesn't benefit from having you in his life at all.
I don't understand why you're so angry all the time. I haven't done anything to you, and if anything, I have been nothing but good to you.
Because you're ruining my son's life with your lies. By the way, I heard James is going on another business trip next month. This one's supposed to be the longest yet. Looks like it'll just be you and me for a while.
Yes, he'll be gone for a while. It's going to be about 6 months.
6 months? That long? What kind of company needs him gone that long?
It's an important project for his company. They need him there, and we need to support him. This will be good for his career, so we are taking the opportunity.
But 6 months? That's not a business trip. That's practically moving away.
Yes, I know, right? I feel the same way. We will miss him for sure.
He must be desperate to get away from you.
That's not true. We discussed this together.
Did he really choose this, or are you pushing him away?
This was his company's decision. Why would I even push him to go away? That is nonsense.
This house won't survive 6 months of your laziness.
I maintain this house just fine.
Did you even try to convince him to stay?
Of course I did, but this is important for his career. We can still call and text. It's not the end of the world.
I'm just going to be stuck here watching you play on your phone for that long? Are you sure he has to go that long? Can't he just go there once a week or something like that?
It's too far for him to commute and will be very expensive. We would rather save the money so we can possibly buy a house in the near future. I've told you repeatedly that I'm working on my phone, and trust me, I'm not happy with the trip either.
When he's gone, who's going to make sure you're actually working?
I don't need supervision to do my job.
You can't even work on getting pregnant while he's gone.
That's right, so don't expect to become a grandmother anytime soon.
How dare you make fun of me like that? Maybe that's why he's leaving, because you can't give him children.
He's leaving for work, nothing else. We made the decision together.
6 months without my son, and it's all your fault.
How is this my fault? I have nothing to do with this. You are becoming a little insane.
What a waste of time. I'm just going to be miserable for 6 months without him. He's going to leave me with you the whole time.
You're not the only one who will miss him and be miserable. I will miss him too. Mom, I know it's hard that James will be gone, but it's hard for me too. He's been my only support while you criticize me every day like this.
Don't call me Mom. You haven't earned that right.
I'm trying to be respectful, and I have been very patient with you.
Respect is earned, not given.
I've tried to earn your respect for 2 years. Isn't that long enough for you to consider me a daughter-in-law?
When have I ever criticized you? I just state facts. To me, you're a freeloader. That's the truth.
Your facts are just your opinions, and I have told you repeatedly that they are all not true.
Whatever. You are just with him for his money and kindness.
That's far from the truth. I've told you many times I work for my phone. It's not pocket money or games. The business is growing and profitable. I do very well with it, and I am very proud. So please understand, I am not a freeloader.
A real business. Say whatever. I don't believe it. Prove it. Show me your office and all if you really want me to believe that you do work.
I've shown you my workspace multiple times.
A desk in your bedroom isn't an office. You're just playing on your phone all day. How is that work? Stop making me repeat myself. You won't even explain what kind of work you do because you know it's all lies.
I've tried explaining multiple times.
Then explain it again. Make it make sense.
Would you actually listen this time?
I always listen. You never make sense.
You interrupt every time I try to explain.
Whatever. Besides, your biggest problem is that you can't have children. A wife who can't give me grandchildren is worthless. James should find someone else who can give him a child of his own.
I didn't marry James just to have children. And maybe I can't get pregnant because of all the stress you put me under?
So now it's my fault you can't have babies?
Stress affects fertility. That's a medical fact. If you don't believe me, go ask your friend's daughter, please.
Don't be smart with me.
The doctor specifically mentions stress as a factor, so I would appreciate if you could stop it all.
So now you're blaming me for your body's failures? Don't you dare blame this on me. You're just a useless freeloader trying to blame others for your failures.
I'm not blaming you or anyone. I'm stating facts like you do to me all the time. That is all.
The only fact is that you're useless, and the only stress in this house is from your lies and excuses.
You're the one who creates tension every day. You are always on me and never happy with anything I do.
If you were a better wife, there wouldn't be any tension.
What would make me a better wife in your eyes? What do you think I can do to make us more closer?
A real job, a baby, both, or at least one, please.
Then I'm only missing a baby. A better wife according to whose standards, by the way?
According to everybody. You don't work, you haven't given me a grandchild, what are you here for? 6 months of this. I can't take it anymore.
Maybe we should talk to James about this. I can't keep having the same conversation with you over and over again every day. Maybe we can come up with a better solution?
You leave my son out of this. He has enough stress without your complaints. I've made my decision.
What decision?
I'm sick of you, and I decided to throw all your stuff outside while you were gone. Don't come near this house again. You are not welcome here.
You did what? You threw out my things outside?
Everything that belongs to you is outside now. I feel much better.
You can't just throw my belongings out. That's illegal.
I've had enough of your lies and excuses. So now everything's outside, and you only have a little time to pick them up. It rained this morning, so it's probably all muddy now.
Wait, hold on. You threw away my laptop and equipment too?
Everything. Every single thing that belongs to you. I don't want them in my house.
Oh my gosh, no. Do you have any idea how expensive that equipment is?
If you actually had a real job, you wouldn't need all that stuff anyway. You could have everything at your office.
That equipment is my job.
Real jobs don't need fancy equipment.
How could you do something so cruel and stupid? This is completely out of line.
This is my house too. I won't live with a liar anymore.
No, it is not. It is James's house.
How dare you? I'm his mother. That means it's my house too.
Just because you are his mother doesn't mean it gives you the right to destroy my property and throw them out. They are my property.
His mother has more right than his barren wife. He would understand where I stand. I'm his mom, and he will take my side.
Being his mother doesn't give you legal rights either. You definitely crossed the line this time.
You've gotten too bold lately. Not only are you a freeloader, but you've started talking back to me. I've reached my limit living with you. I feel bad for my son, so I'm kicking you out. He's better off without you.
You still have no legal right to evict me. I live there too.
That is interesting, because I already did.
I'm calling James about this.
Go ahead. He'll agree with me once he knows the truth.
You always act on your assumptions. Why won't you ever listen to me? You should really start paying attention to those around you too. You're too old to be this stupid.
Oh, you. See, I knew you would talk back, because all you do is lie. Everything about you is fake. James deserves someone way better. You are not good enough for my son.
You don't even know me. You never tried to.
I'm doing this for my son. He'll be better off not having to support a freeloader like you. Besides, you've gotten fat lately. I bet James doesn't even see you as a woman anymore. That's probably why you can't get pregnant.
I gained weight on purpose because I was too skinny. The doctor said being underweight can affect fertility and isn't good for the baby's development. I actually feel healthier now.
Ugh, of course there is another excuse.
It's medical advice, not an excuse.
Ha ha, liar. You got fat because you're lazy. Get out of my house, you fat, barren freeloader.
You're really serious about this. You really want me gone, huh?
Did you think I was joking? You have 1 hour to get your things.
Everything's outside and ruined now anyway. What's the point?
Good. Finally something goes right.
My expensive equipment is in the rain.
Maybe the rain will wash away your lies.
That's thousands of dollars of damage.
If you really had money, you wouldn't live here.
You'll regret this decision.
Is that a threat?
It's a warning. You don't understand what you're doing.
Understanding what? That you're finally leaving?
Fine. I'll leave then, but don't say I didn't warn you about what happens next.
What could you possibly do? Run to James crying?
You have no idea what you've just done.
What could a useless person like you do?
You'll find out soon enough, and when you find out, don't come back to me crying.
Ha! What could happen? My life will only get better without you.
You really believe that, don't you? Well then, I will leave you alone.
Of course I do. You're nothing but a burden. We don't benefit from anything from having you in our life. You can at least walk away quietly and let us live in peace with no stress. Never show your face here again, you worthless woman. We don't need you anymore.
Okay, don't forget, you chose this.
Chose what? To finally get rid of you? I waited too long. I should have done this a long time ago. I knew you were not for my son. He deserves way better than you.
No, you chose to throw away your only source of support.
I will be fine without you. James supports me anyway, and I don't need you.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I'm sure. He's my son.
Understood. I won't show my face or have anything to do with you ever again.
Good. Finally something we agree on. Yay! I am finally getting rid of you!
Remember this moment. You caused this. You wanted this.
Caused what? Freedom for James? I'm celebrating this tonight, so I'm going to go out for a bit. While I'm out, you can come collect your things if you'd like.
Just remember, you did this to yourself.
Stop with the dramatic warnings and just go!
Goodbye, Karen. You'll understand soon enough.
Is my son staying with you?
Why are you texting me? I told you to never contact me again. And yes, James lives with me.
I haven't heard from him in months. He won't answer my calls.
Maybe he doesn't want to talk to you.
That's impossible. He always calls me.
Things change when you throw someone's wife out of their house.
What? Weren't you supposed to get divorced?
When did I ever agree to divorce? You told me to leave the house, which I did. I never said anything about divorce.
He can't possibly want to stay with you.
Why? Because I'm such a worthless wife like you told me?
I wanted you to cut all ties with our family. I kicked you out for my son's sake.
Did you even tell him what you did?
He must understand I did it for him.
Sure, you had your own plan, but why would I cut ties with my husband? We still love each other.
Don't be ridiculous. My son couldn't possibly love someone like you.
Is that why he moved in with me immediately after his trip?
He did what? He is back? When?
Then why isn't he living with you? James said he's happy to be away from your house.
That's impossible.
But he hasn't been in contact with you, right?
Well, no.
6 months without calling your precious son?
I thought he'd come home. My own son abandoned me? Is that why he stopped sending me money? He used to send me money every month, but it stopped 6 months ago. I've been burning through my savings just to survive.
Missing that monthly allowance?
I can barely pay my bills anymore.
No, that has nothing to do with James. I was the one sending you money. That $1,500 monthly allowance was for me, not him.
We completely cut ties with my mother after that. According to relatives, she had quite a breakdown. She kept calling family members, crying, begging them to help her reconcile with us. But no one would help her. They all knew she'd brought this on herself by how badly she'd treated me and Sarah. That's how terrible her behavior had been. She ended up completely isolated. I heard she started working part-time jobs to pay off her debt, but she's nowhere near getting out of the hole she dug herself into. Sarah had a healthy baby, and she's managing to balance work and motherhood. It's challenging, but she says she's much happier now that her biggest source of stress is gone.